Welcome to the Next Issue podcast. We're a group of friends that love talking comics and all that it entails. We're based out of Dallas, so you'll hear us talk about how these comics make up a part of our daily lives, including our local comic shop, conventions, and other forms of entertainment. Welcome. Hey now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our show. We have all almost our full squad. I know Adrian's been on a long hiatus, so our
Who's Adrian?
Wait, I didn't make him up, right? Like I didn't just imagine him.
I thought it's always been just the four of us. We've had a fifth member?
We should have all called and said, "Don't tell Daniel that Adrian's not real."
Oh my god.
Right, yeah. You just broke that pact, Clay.
I vaguely remember some guy named Zach who used to do recordings for us, but other than that...
These are all Mandela effects.
Nice.
Alright, well, I hope everybody's been doing well. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the world, both nerdy and non-nerdy, but we'll focus on the more nerdy stuff here. So today our main topic is going to be we're going to be talking about our favorite DC animated movies with the recent release of Batman Soul of the Dragon and then the upcoming what's it called, Kyle?
Justice Society World War II.
World War II.
Yeah. They just released another trailer for that, or I guess the first trailer for that. So
Can I ask a stupid question about that? I've been saving it just for you guys.
Go for it.
I was super hyped about it, except for the fact that... All right, so first off, is this one based on a book?
No.
Okay. Why does it have to have Barry Allen in it?
I have a theory on this. I talked to them about it. Because I think this might be... Because at the end of Justice League Apocalypse War, he goes into the time stream and tries to reset the universe.
Okay.
I think this is connecting that. I think he's coming out of the time stream and basically has restarted the universe, starting with the Justice Society being in the new universe.
So,
yeah.
That's cool. So if they do that, will this be the first linked set of films?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. It bugged me because I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I love this time period. I love these Golden Age heroes. And then Barry Allen runs in. I'm like, why? Just give me the Golden Age heroes.
No. But this also kind of links. I guess maybe you can tie it to a slight story. Flash of Two Worlds. This is going to link Barry meeting the Jay Garrick.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of homage to that story. I think that we're restarting the new universe.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. That's cool.
Great. No, that's a good question. I haven't seen the trailer, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. But
oh fuck, I'm sorry.
no,
man.
it's okay. I mean,
it's a trailer, not the movie.
Yeah, it's a trailer. You didn't spoil the movie.
I don't know. This is gonna raise the whole spoiler story again. So
yeah, I'm gonna link our spoiler episode right here.
There we go.
It's no different than me writing my novel and my theories for Kong versus Godzilla on Friday night.
I read those. I'm very intrigued because let me tell you, that trailer put me off when it looked like Godzilla's the big bad. And I'm like, I have just watched two super fun, contemporary Godzilla films, and if they make him the bad guy, I'm going to be really mad. So
I really wish you had been here to react with us now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that was
I was on assignment.
Yeah, our first trailer reaction. So I hope that if you saw that on our YouTube channel, thank you.
I spent a week wearing a fake mustache over my real mustache, so going deep undercover.
It was a Thunderbolt Ross style mustache.
Yeah.
Drawn by Joan Romita Jr. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go read World War Hulk. All right. Well, with that, let's go on to our previously on next issue segment, and I'm gonna go first because I'm very excited about. I hadn't had time to read this whole week, and it was coming down to the wire yesterday, and I was like, "Damn it, I'm not gonna have any comics to talk about tomorrow." But then I buckled down, and I read 11 comic books. And I'm not gonna talk about all of them because we don't have all day. But I caught up on all the X-Men stuff. Um,
Jeez.
I did skip X-Men number 17. Uh, they brought in Brett Booth to work on this, and I find him problematic.
Ugh.
Why?
So just he's had some behavior in the recent years. And then I
What has
looked
he
at some
done?
of,
Really, I don't know.
you know, I don't want to go too deep into it. He's just said some problematic things.
Uh-oh.
Um, but I'm sure you can find the Bleeding Cool article about it or something.
I don't read Bleeding Cool, so that's why I don't
Uh,
know.
oh, I didn't have a question of the day, but now I do, and I'll post it at the end of the this segment, and then we can
Okay.
talk about it after. And it's kind of related to that. But yeah, so I looked at some of the interior art. It looks super 90s, like what we were talking about in the last episode for Heroes Reborn. I was like, I think I could just read the synopsis of this one X-Men book and skip it. Um, but I caught up on everything else, and let me tell you, there's some really good stuff, and then there's King and Black Marauders number one,
I got
which
that.
actually, as much as I enjoyed it, it's super pointless to anything. Like as far as like King and Black stuff goes,
Really?
it's so
Even
upsetting that it is just a very like when I'm doing my article of how to read King and Black, this is gonna be one of those like you can read it if you want to. It's
It's a
very
pass.
inconsequential to anything. Well, it's just inconsequential. It's not a bad comic book. It's a good story. It's just a good Marauder story, but it's inconsequential to anything that's going on in King of Black. Like they mentioned stuff that's going on, and that's
Would
it.
it be included when they create an omnibus of the series?
They'll put this on like a second trade or something with another series that has nothing to do
So
with
it's
King
just
of Black.
padding.
Yeah, this is literally just an excuse to sell you another Marauders book, and it worked.
Well, wait a minute, because Aaron pulled that book for me. He goes, "I know this is a King in Black tie-in, but it's Marauders, and there's supposed to be some resolution on Kitty Pryde in the book."
No, I mean Kitty Pryde stuff's been resolved in the actual Marauder series, I think. I mean Kate's in the book, but she's like it's not like the main. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Hmm.
just if this was not a King in Black tie that they would just give me a one shot of Marauders, I would have been like, oh, this is fine. But
Okay.
because you're making me buy an extra book, I'm gonna judge you harshly on it.
Yeah.
that's fair. I mean, that's totally fair. If they're gonna label it as part of a massive crossover series,
Yeah.
then in some ways the expectation is you've got to deliver on that. So
So the other thing I read was the other history of the DC Universe number two by John Ridley, art by Giuseppe Cavalconi and Andrea Cucci. Um, this book, like issue number one, focused on the history of the DC universe through the lens of Jefferson Pierce, who's Black Lightning. Um, this one focuses more. It's narrated by Bumblebee, and it's about her story and Guardian, like coming into how they interact with the DC universe. So obviously, focusing on heroes of color and their journey through the DC universe. But it's really good. The art is amazing. You get to see a lot of really cool moments in the DC universe from a different perspective. Like I think one of the Teen Titans got married at some point, and they were all part of that. Um, they go. I think they go all the way up to Crisis because you do see that moment where Superman is holding Supergirl. But it's all from
spoiler.
yeah, but it's all from their point of view. So it's definitely a little bit different that getting it from the main characters at the time.
I've got to read this. This is such an awesome idea, and
Yeah.
it's in my wish list. I just haven't picked it up yet.
Well, and
So
Well, I was at my shop and I almost pulled them, but I'm like, they're $8. They're oversized. I may just get it digitally, but then I feel like the book is painted, right? Isn't the
yeah,
interiors?
Common Cold is yeah, yeah.
And that's
Um,
kind of one where I go, maybe that's what works for that art. I don't know. But it looks great, and I want to pick it up. I have so much more to read. It may end up being a digital book later.
yeah, what I think I'm gonna do with like a lot of the Black Label books, I'm going to stop buying the singles and just get the collected editions because those are a lot nicer,
yeah,
and they're like a normal, the normal book size, so like it doesn't look weird on your shelf. Um, like I said, John really wrote this book. He also wrote the other book that I'm gonna talk about. And if you didn't know or didn't listen to our last episode, John Ridley's a screenwriter and a book writer. He wrote 12 Years a Slave, and I think doing stuff in the DC universe, like it really brings a lot of gravitas and like just like is a different perspective as well from the heroes. So the other book I wanted to talk about was the next Batman issue 2 and 3, mainly uh, the stories about the actual new Batman, um, who is one of the is I think it's Tim Fox, not the other, not Lucas, his brother. So I, being a person of color, Batman actually wears a full mask, so people don't know that he's black. Um, Now my only disappointment, and it's only a disappointment because I love Nick Darrington, is that he did not do the art for issues 2 and 3. It was done by Laura Braga, whose art is also very good. I just really like Nick Darrington's art. Um, he's credited as doing the breakdowns, which I don't know exactly what that means for the art. Um,
He's probably doing like page layout and maybe very loose panel sketches of what's going on in each panel and
Yeah.
the layout in each panel, and then another artist is going to come in and kind of refine everything.
okay, that makes sense because then that's what Laura Braga brought in. But yeah, overall, this series it's gonna conclude with the next issue, number 4. And then these have backup stories like one has Gotham Series Sirens, one had the second part of The Outsiders. So they just have like these are 64-page books, so they have 3 stories in them each. So you're getting I mean, it's still like $8, but you're getting a lot of stories. So I'm looking forward to see how these are gonna be collected as far as all the future state stuff because it's really weird how they have it all laid out. It's a bunch of books all over the place, and I'm also excited to see what's gonna survive, like going into this new frontier or whatever the new thing is called.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. God, what is that? It's got a weird name, right? It's like
yeah, I thought it was New Frontier, but it's not. It's not that.
no,
It's
it's like G8 or Gen 8 or something like that.
well, the 5G stuff is what the future state.
5G.
Yeah,
That's
that's what the
okay.
future state stuff is. The leftovers of that. So, but we'll
Oh,
see.
okay.
Um, but that's about it in comics. I've been reading and watching a lot of other stuff, but I'll save some of that for the recommendations at the end. Josh, you want to go next?
Yeah, I am way behind on reading. It's just piling up on my tablet. But what I have done this week is started something that's quite fun. Babylon 5 has just been remastered and released on HBOmax, and I've never seen it. It's one of those shows that when it came out, I was super snooty, and in all the commercials, the CGI looked terrible, and I'm like, I'm not watching that, right? And a good friend of mine from high school and college loved the show and has always like spoken very highly of it. And so he reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to do like a book club for a TV show?" And I'm like, "Sure, you know." So he's gotten me into watching Babylon 5, and we're meeting like every week for like an hour to just kind of talk about it. And it's fun because he's watched all of it. He's deeply invested in it. I'm coming at it with fresh eyes, never seen it, no expectations, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been good. I've watched the 90-minute pilot in the first episode, and then probably tonight I'm gonna watch like 3 and 4. And just if you've never seen it, go watch it, because even though I've only seen a tiny smidge of it, what is fascinating is, first off, the pilot's way better than I expected. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a bit abrasive to shift from the pilot to what's the true first episode, because there was a year gap and some of the cast left and new cast came on. But apparently, J. Michael Straczynski plotted out all 5 seasons from the very beginning. And my friend said that even as well as he knows the show, he had forgotten how many seeds are planted even in the pilot that pay off 4 or 5 seasons down the road. And I was like, damn, all right, that's pretty cool. So if you've never watched it,
Chris Claremont.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's actually a good comparison. It is very much. It feels like a Claremont X-Men era kind of plotting out, kind of. Yeah, I'm going to use the word soap opera, but not that. That's the tone of it. But like just the idea that it's so serialized, right? That what you're watching in one moment isn't just self-contained to that moment, that something else may be leading onto it later. So anyway, just that's what I've been doing. That and just a buttload of work. So yeah,
I haven't seen it, so that actually makes me want to see it more.
okay, yeah.
I've had people suggest it, but it's like sometimes when you revisit older stuff, you start to get more critical of it. But if the story can't hold it, then everything else is going to fall apart.
I would say my impression is that, and the reason I sort of led with my bad dismissal of it when I was younger is the CGI is awful. Like, this came out in 93 and 94, and I guarantee there are computer games with better CGI at this point. Like, it is terrible, and you will laugh at it, and that's okay. But the storytelling and
I'm going to defend it because computer games we had in 93, 94 was Doom and Quake. So compared to the graphics that we had there, and I think still the graphics I remember watching it in its run for a while, and I mean, it wasn't any. When I guess Star Trek had better special effects than that did.
It's the difference between Star Trek kind of always doubled down on models.
Yeah.
And these are entirely CGI.
Yeah, you're right.
Anything in space is all CGI. But that said, the storytelling and the acting are great. The world building is fantastic. So definitely give it a try. Just prepare to cringe when you see any like computer graphics.
You gotta love any series that has Tron as the main star.
Yes. Well, that's not until season 2, right?
I thought it was in the first season.
Uh,
I only started sketching episodes when he was already on the cast, so I don't know what I only caught a season or 2.
There's a big shift between the captain in season 1 and the captain in season 2. So
okay,
yeah, but yeah, no. So that's what I've been doing.
Cool. All right, Kyle. What about you?
Really haven't really read anything. Like I said the biggest thing. Oh no, actually I did do one thing, and I told the other two about this. Last Sunday, I made a drive out to Awesome Comics just because I hadn't been there in a while, and I walked in, and for a small shop, that sometimes you can miss if you don't see it. It's a nice little store. Like I mean, it feels like your old '80s kind of like comic shop you used to always want to go into. That was like it's like a gem to find. And I went to the back issues, and he had like a box with $2 like old comics. So I was like, oh, let's see what I go through. So I pulled up maybe 6, 7 issues and just brought them home for just like. But the guy's really nice. I mean, and it was a lot of fun. So it was like he has action figures here, has a section here, has trade paperbacks, but still has a back issue selection. So it's like this actually feels like a comic shop that. And I don't think I remember if he actually sold like Magic the Gathering. I didn't look, but I was more immersed at the fact of the amount of comic book stuff that he had compared to like have these comic shops or have game store have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't think they have card collectibles. I would probably know.
He does a lot of statues that fill up that space, I think.
Yeah, my point. Like, so he's dealing with fully comic book stuff. So I thought that was amazing. The other thing was that I thought was really fun is HBOmax finally released the full series. Caught like maybe scenes of it when I was during its original run. But Head of the Class.
Oh, watch the 2-parter where they go to Russia for some reason.
I know. I'm not there yet. I need to. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. It really is it's a fun show.
That's one of the few shows that loses the main actor and still does okay because they shift from Howard Hudson.
Yeah, Howard Hudson leaves in end of season 4. And they bring in Billy.
Yeah, I forget
season 5. Yeah.
I know, and I can't think of his name either.
What I thought was interesting, I have a little bit of trivia is I can't remember the actor's name, because I would butcher it, but the kid who played Data and Short Stuff apparently became a main cast member in season 4 and 5.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't gotten there, but yeah, I was looking at like just on the wiki page trying to do a little more research, and I saw this name, like that sounds vaguely familiar, and I clicked on it and it's like, yep, it's the dude who played Data.
Okay, so here's my weird trivia that we were talking about before the show. Tony O'Dell is in Head of the Class. He plays Alan. He's
Okay.
also
Oh,
he's also in the Karate Kid movies because he's one of the Cobra Kai.
God, you're right.
But the
Okay.
weirdest thing is he's Zendaya's acting coach from Disney. He is a Disney acting coach, and so he was coaching her at like 10 years old.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
Job well
Yeah,
done.
I saw that. And I put all those pieces together, and I was just like, how weird to be like Cobra Kai, Chopping Mall kind of films, and then you're getting this kid to.
God,
I mean,
oh my God.
I think she's at the top of her field at her age right now.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's MJ from Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Wow. Okay.
yeah. We should have to ask our kids to know who Zendaya is because she's done so much Disney stuff before she even got to Spider-Man. But we know MJ.
Right. Take that, kids.
I just know she had 2 series on Disney. One where it was basically her and another girl were part of this dance show, and then another one where she played like the daughter of a spy family.
My Disney shows knowledge does not go in that deep.
Yeah, I'm sad at that part where the fact I keep up with certain things just because some of the Disney back when I had cable, some of the Disney shows was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll keep it on just as background noise.
It started as background noise, but then Kyle was there like every weekend.
Right. I was gonna say
with a bucket of popcorn.
we've seen your fan blog.
Well, I mean, the animated stuff, you had Kim Possible, which was awesome. You had, like Lilo and Stitch, and I still watch the animated stuff. And plus, they also did the reruns of Boy Meets World.
That's true. Yeah.
Phineas and Ferb was just amazing. Like that was a show I just sat down
Phineas and
for days
yeah.
all the time. I mean,
My point. And then they started rerunning like old Marvel cartoons too, late at night.
oh,
When it was Disney XD, I'd be watching episodes of the old 90s Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer, and then they also had reruns of Spider-Man: The Amazing Friends. I was like, okay, I'm down with this.
speaking of Disney, we need to pour one out for DuckTales, which did not get renewed.
Oh, that pissed me off.
I know. I'm really bummed.
Yeah.
It's because I apparently all the people who worked on the animated series got hired to do other stuff, so they didn't have them anymore to work on the series.
Great.
They could just do it on their breaks from the closet. All right. Well, with that, Green Arrow, you want to go next?
Yes.
Next.
I finally finished off Kimmy Schmidt with the interactive Choose Your Own Adventure show they put up.
Okay.
Fantastic. We
did
watched
watch
it twice.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really fun. We even picked an option. There's one option in there where you get to choose what you're going to do to the Reverend, and if you choose a certain way, it gives you a special ending.
Really?
And yeah, so I'm not gonna reveal that, but there is a choice when you get to run into the Reverend of what you're going to do with him, and it gives you 4 options. So that's
Is
your
it
hint.
still John Hamm?
Yep.
Ah,
And it is over the top John Hamm. If you think you've seen him be weird like
Yeah.
30 Rock, no. He's in jail, he's on the run, he's taunting people. It's best funny John Hamm.
That's great.
Because I've seen John Hamm play an older Daniel Radcliffe in dark Russian comedy, and that is some weird ass shit. So,
Well, Daniel Radcliffe is in this one as well.
oh, is he? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
So you can get through it. I think we end up spending almost 2 hours going through it twice, but getting different results. So you do sit through.
The same, a few things.
Yeah, you do sit through quite a few of those, but you start to notice little differences in what they say. So there are very slight differences, but it's still fun. Tardis is great.
Love
the
Titan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of anything that was Heidi Gardner from current SNL. She shows up in there. She's pretty funny. Um, and then I binge watched The Queen's Gambit.
Before you go into that, because the only choose your own adventure stuff that I've seen or that I've watched was the Black Mirror, the Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
That one did end up feeling like it. Even though you can choose your own adventure, and I don't think this is a spoiler. But even though you can choose your own adventure, it eventually makes you go in a direction anyways. And I don't know if that was the point of the story, or like that you think you have a choice, but you really don't have free will.
Right, right.
Oh.
But
Um,
it gives you content either way.
okay,
So like if you go down a path that they want you to, they actually send you back to start over on, it still gives you funny content of what happened.
okay, yeah, because the Bandersnatch did the same thing. Like if at some point you kind of messed up and it brought you back to a certain point or whatever. Like it's so weird. The choices like even just as to what cereal you're choosing in the morning, like that's the first choice, and you're like, holy shit. So the other thing is, I don't know if they did you watch it on a computer or did you watch it on your TV, sir, like through your device? Okay, because before when Bandersnatch came out, I don't think you couldn't do it through the Apple TV. I don't think.
Mm.
So I'm glad that they finally figured out how to make it choose your own adventure on like a device that you're watching it on TV. Because I had to watch Bandersnatch on my computer, so I could click, yeah, to click around and stuff. Which it's not the ideal watching
Yeah. Now
situation.
it does say that if you make no choices, they'll choose for you. And I would have fully watched it again and made no choices and just let it choose to see how it would fail into whatever story it gave. But yeah, it's definitely worth watching once, twice, even three times.
Three times a lady. All right. Um,
And
now
and and I finally added another Anna Taylor Joy film to enjoy. But it's, I mean, series Queen's Gambit, man, is really good. I'm way behind. I know everyone else has probably already seen this, but I binged it, and it was really really good.
it's amazing. I love that.
It
Yeah.
it's weird because I hate to be this critical of the story, but the story itself, it's not based on real life, so you know, it's you want to kind of be critical, uh, but you don't care because she's good, her mother's good, all the acting's good. Um, it's really the cast that carries that.
Yeah.
I love that cast, and the time period and the production work is incredible. I mean, you get excited about chess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does what any really good, and I say this about a few shows, like you get those anime tropes that it's like the whole world revolves around this one thing, right? Like with Hikaru no Go, everything was about the game of Go.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard of Go until I watched that series. This is the same thing. Like I've heard of chess, obviously, but like the fact that like a whole industry in this capitalist country would revolve around chess tournaments is mind blowing.
I would love to see those kinds of crowds here if they had chess. Well, if we ever get back to normal. Shelby said a lot of people have been coming into half price books buying chess books, and
Yeah.
I
so
can I can
it's
imagine
trending.
that.
Yeah.
I just want to play chess again.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one quick question I want to insert into this. Has everyone seen WandaVision?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, and I
I,
think I know we'll do a full thing of
I'm
WandaVision.
getting so torn on this series.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for Josh because he definitely
yeah.
needs to go in
Here,
full.
I'll just do this, and
Well,
you guys
No.
I also don't
La
want to
la la
spoil
la la
anything
la la
for
la
our
la.
listeners. So we'll do a full WandaVision
Well,
show whenever WandaVision is done.
uh,
I
does
know,
the
Kyle. I know we all want it.
no, no, I'm curious about his question. Does it have anything to do with
Yeah.
like?
I'm writing questions for Universal Remote for our next show Monday, and I was going to put a WandaVision question in, and Shelby felt like it was too soon. So I
Oh,
wanted to see who here
Oh, I see.
felt like it was too soon or who hadn't seen the show. So
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah, but I mean, it's no surprise I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't seen Babylon 5, so.
Me
Yeah,
either.
so throw the question out.
Okay. Yeah.
your
Yeah, I was
show
going to
will
make it
be
one of those questions where you had to kind of pay attention to what's going on, but I
yeah,
don't want to spoil stuff because it's been so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. No, I definitely want to make sure that people avoid spoilers for all this stuff because it is that good. Like it's just a really good show.
Quite, you could always.
On this week because I went to Twitter on the day after.
It wasn't me.
Oh.
I'll just say that. Okay. I know I wanted to bring. I guess it's not really a question of the day, but so we were talking about Bleeding Cool earlier. Um, they put out an article this week that I could not find anything to back, like a second article to back it up. That there were rumors that DC wanted to rename Black Adam
Oh,
Shazadam,
I saw that article.
and
But
I was
yeah.
like, this is not like. There's no way. There is no way they're changing the Black Adam labeling marketing so close to like the movie that they've already said with The Rock, all the promo they've been doing for the New Frontier, I think, whatever it's called.
Given the society that we have now, I would not be surprised if they were actually thinking about it.
But Shazam is, it's a
It's
dumb
stupid. I
name.
know,
Because
but
Adam,
I mean, well, in my opinion,
that
if
is like sharding.
Shazam would be like if Shazam and Black Adam ever fused. That's what that would be called.
I
And I
think it's
would
still
give an
stupid that
example of farting and shitting your pants as the same thing.
Exactly. Thank you.
I still think it's stupid that basically DC decided not to call him Captain Marvel anymore. It's like you can call up a movie called Shazam, but keep him Captain Marvel. Who cares?
Well, I think that was just for like they didn't want to pay more money.
They could use the name. They weren't paying money to use the name in the actual comic book. They just couldn't use it as the title of the issue or the comic book. So,
I think that they didn't want to confuse people.
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry. Let society figure it out. If you're too dumb to figure that out, then don't be watching these movies or comic
Hey,
books. I'm sorry.
don't test society's knowledge. Have you seen dumb people out there? They're on the
Yeah,
news
I
every
know.
day.
I know.
This isn't a book about a woman pilot. Get out of here. Where's Nick Fury? You fucking lied to me, DC Comics.
Well, and to your point, they abandoned the Captain Marvel name back in the 70s when they kind of acquired the character. I mean, it's been a long time.
No, only for the title of the comic. He was still as Captain Marvel up until the New 52.
No, but my point is from like a marketing perspective, right?
Yeah,
like
that's my point. I'm okay with it. The comic or the movie being called
Shazam. So,
But I mean that. But how do you get around calling your superhero name when you can't use your name? You turn back into the kid. Why? How are you supposed to tell people what your alias is? You can't, because if you say Shazam, boom, I'm Billy Batson again.
I think it would be awesome if he just wrote it down. He showed a sign. Like,
Say my name.
You know
Billy
what?
Batson.
Maybe he needs to learn sign language.
sign language. Yeah, there you go.
Come on.
I mean,
Come
it's
on,
the same
Japan.
problem with Mr. Mitzelplick.
Yeah.
His
No.
I've got it.
Well, you say it backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Updated costume, but it just has a "Hello, my name is" sticker on it, and he just like, right? We're good.
He just does charades. All right. Well, yeah, it's not really a question. I think we all think it's dumb. But I saw that and I was
Yeah.
I saw
yeah.
that and instead of retweeting it
love
because
it.
that's what Bleeding Cool wants me to do. First I googled, okay, is any other website doing this? And the only one that did was Comic Book Resources, but they were just looping it back to Bleeding
Yeah.
Cool, and I was like, this isn't the news. This is not how it works. Your source can't be the original article.
And
doesn't
that's
have
why
it.
we don't read Bleeding Cool. That and CBR just doing a circle jerk.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, they confirmed it. Well, they confirmed my story. Like,
I can't write anything good about comics, so I'm going to make something up.
I gave up on all of them with the litany of 5 reasons so and so is the best and 5 reasons they're the worst, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, God, I hate this.
you can't argue against yourself in the same article.
Oh, I don't know. I've been to grad school. You can do that.
Oh, well.
Here.
But let us know what your favorite comic books news website is and how reputable it is. Um, okay,
Let's follow anyone specifically for news because I like follow a couple of people who just do comic book news that I respect.
I still kind of
Hmm.
follow CBR.
I,
I mean,
Chris
I get
Arendt over at Games Radar and Heidi, of course,
ID, yeah.
Comics Beat.
you know what? Like right now, like any because we're so starved for news, like even the bigger publications, Hollywood Reporter and stuff like that. Even if it's a comics thing, they'll do an article on it just to get
Yep.
clicks their way. And normally they're a little bit better about checking stuff, but yeah, no, I like you know what? I think it's a good habit that you see a news headline, go figure out if it's a real headline before you
well,
Yeah.
and
start sharing
if
it.
we're gonna go that way, then I'll just say I get most of my news from Instagram. Going through the feed, then somebody anytime there's been news of some comic book stuff, I'll see it somebody posted there, and that's where you can find out multiple links to go to find out if it's
Right,
real or not.
right, but at least in Instagram, like you can either see multiple people posting the same thing,
That's my point. That's
right?
why like
Yeah,
I can verify. I go to bed at night on my iPad playing through Instagram, just looking at videos or looking at pictures. But then you'll see like stuff for the comic books or the new shows, and
yeah,
somebody like that's why I think where I Shazam.
yeah. Because I'm on a few geeky Discord servers, and I asked everyone like, does anyone have any other sources that this might be a real thing?
Well, you know what's
Because
gonna
holy
happen
shit.
tomorrow. DC is gonna like just like Marvel with Heroes Reborn. DC is gonna post
Yeah,
Shazam,
Shadow. Yeah,
Black Adam now becoming Shazam.
yeah. Bleeding Cool's gonna come after our podcast.
if, if they do, they've got a lot of time on their hands.
I
So
think they do. There's not a lot going on either. All right. Well, let's take a break here. We'll go to our main topic when we come back. And we'll talk about our favorite DC animated movies. Welcome back to our main topic. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, we'll be talking about our favorite DC animated movies. With the recent release of Batman Soul the Dragon and the upcoming Justice League World War II Crisis, is that what it's called? Did I get that right?
Well,
I think
not
it's
Crisis,
just
World War II.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I figured it'd be a good time to talk about, some of our favorite movies that come from the DC animated universe. Um, but first, as I was putting my list together, I noticed a pattern, like going back to the Queen's Gambit, I could see it in my head and just, uh, so to me, it feels like DC makes four different types of animated movies. And then you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, and then we can go into our list of like,
You're wrong.
um,
Okay.
that's very likely. Uh,
It's very likely.
so they make first they make adaptations from the comic books, right? So they take stories that are in the comics, and they just adapt them very very loyally, really, like All Star Superman, Batman Year One, The Dark Knight
Ooh,
Returns,
no, no,
etc.
no, no.
No. But
Okay,
they
sorry, go
make
on.
we'll get
you're right
into
on. They make adaptations. They're not necessarily.
right
Yeah,
adaptations.
yeah.
Then we have completely original movies. These are movies that don't come from a comic, a TV show, or anything. The best example I could think of is Batman Gods and Monsters, Batman Ninja. Like those don't have anything that relates to the comics. Um, the third thing they do is they grab a title from the comics, and then they make a movie that has nothing to do with anything. So like Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War. That there's an event called Apocalypse War in the comics, but it's very different, or if anything at all like this.
Oh,
Uh,
huh.
I mean, the fact that in the Justice League Dark movie, in the first one, Batman's at the center of it makes no goddamn sense because Batman is the one that he just like magic is the thing he probably understands the least and wants to not deal with. But Batman sells, so they put him in the front of um, and then the last thing they do is adaptation of other media. So, for example, Assault on Arkham it's a movie that's related to
Oh,
the video games.
right. Okay.
Um, they have Batman 66 movies, so that's just adapting existing media into the animated form.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then there was one other movie that oh, and then Gotham Knight, which is the animatrix style for the Batman trilogy. So
Yep.
I think those were the four types of movies that I recognized that they kind of make. Now, let's go back to the first thing I said, adaptations from the comics, because you guys shit on the things I had on there as examples very quickly, but we can discuss about that.
Do you want to go to the biggest violation?
Yeah, please.
Batman the Killing Joke.
There it is.
Oh, well,
I knew this was coming.
Do we
yeah,
want Batman and Batgirl hooking up?
no, no one wants that.
I
All
mean,
right then.
in my slash fic, yes. Definitely.
No. It did happen in the animated universe.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
not
in this movie.
in that movie.
No, you don't want it there, but I'm saying, but it's happened already in the not necessarily the comic books, but at least in Bruce Timm's Batman the Animated Series, it
Yeah, I
happened
think
there. She started a relationship with Bruce.
I've never liked that.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So
That's like dating your friend's daughter.
here's
Or your adopted daughter.
You're right.
Oh.
God, can you imagine just how jealous Nightwing must be? I mean, man, let me tell you, God, they're fucking Bruce stealing my girlfriend again. So here's my thing about the animated movies, and I'm going to put on my Alan Moore hat here.
Oh God.
I hate any of them that are based on existing comics. No matter how good they are, I don't see the point. I'm like, go read All-Star Superman. It's going to be better than this movie. Go read Batman Year One. It's going to be better than this movie.
I gotta pull back on that one for a second because again, we've had this discussion. You're gonna have people who actually are the actual comic book fans and people who have just only ever seen it. Like it's like watching the Marvel MCU films. You're gonna have people who have never read a comic book ever and they're only gonna watch the Marvel films. So let's just say I'm gonna throw two out there: Superman All Star or All Star Superman and New Frontier. Whereas I think I love both those comic books. Let's say nobody's ever read them. If you actually go watch the animated film and think, oh, this is kind of cool, but realize it's based on a comic book, that might be the gateway to help them get to actually read the books.
Yeah, okay, but I hate to compare apples and oranges, and I totally see your point, and I agree with you in essence. But I think the thing that has most impressed me about the MCU is that they're creating an entirely unique cinematic world. So that if those characters love Captain Marvel, to bring that up again, they can go read the comics and there may be tonal comparisons, but it's not going to be the exact same story, right? And what has always bugged me about these DC animated movies is they're basically trying to make the exact same story, right? I would rather hand someone Batman Mask of the Phantasm and say, if you love this, right? It doesn't exist in any other format, although I think there may have been a comic adaptation, but don't at me if that's the case. But if you love this, then here are some similar Batman comics to go read, right? Like, I feel like as a gateway, they don't need to retell the same story.
But see, whereas I don't think they did perfect on the films, I was actually happy to see animated versions of both those films. Was reading the comic books one thing, but when you see, when I first saw All Star Superman, granted, I think my biggest issue with New Frontiers is I love that film, but as much as it's 20 minutes too short, they could have easily added it's 70 minutes. They could add 20 minutes, add a little more story. I love that because I love seeing the action take place in front of me. It's not just having to read it. I love seeing the actual animate. So I hate to say, but I'm actually for them trying to animate some of these stories.
Yeah, New Frontier should have been a part one and part two, like The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Because the book is so they're so dense. There's so much going on
Yeah.
that you can do world building that by distilling everything down to. They like to keep these movies at under 90 minutes.
I know, which is stupid.
Which is dumb.
But then is my other problem with this, right? They're taking a fantastic dense story by a absolutely critical creator and truncating it to turn it into animated form. And then they do something like The Killing Joke. and they expand it and make it worse. So I've almost always come down to, with the animated movies, to the point where I will only watch the ones that are original stories, and those tend to be my favorite because I avoid the others. I've never seen Year One. I've never seen Dark Knight Returns. I've never seen Killing Joke.
And
I've
see,
read
Dark Knight Returns is one that they expanded and is a two-parter.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, see, I haven't watched it. I boycott that because of who they had voicing freaking Batman.
Yeah.
I still have a bad taste of him working with Devin at the freaking Dallas Film Festival.
Wait, who was it? Can I ask, or does this?
Yeah, RoboCop.
Peter Weller.
Peter Weller.
Oh, he's an
The guy's
Australian.
oh yeah, the guy is such a pompous piece of. Anyway,
So Peter Weller only likes to play characters that you can only see their mouths.
you, you need to watch Naked Lunch. So
I don't think I do with that title. Um, yeah. So I think another thing I noticed as I was putting this list together is that DC likes to be very cheeky, and I can't believe that they picked one story to animate twice, and then the second time
Huh?
they made it into a two-part film. So we had already had Superman Doomsday, and then because they redid their
yeah,
continuity, they gave us the Death of Superman and then the Reign of the Superman,
I'll
which
give you that one.
I like Reign because it expands on what you wanted to see after Superman Doomsday, like all the it's not yeah it's not a direct adaptation. They would definitely change a lot.
Yeah.
But I like that they added that. Like I love seeing all the Superman, like all the different ones. Like
Cyborg, Eradicator, Steel, and then Superboy. I did
yeah,
enjoy that part.
yeah, it's really good. But then also those guys are interacting with the people that from what we would call the New
Yeah.
52 animated movies, right? So then you have Damian Wayne and stuff, and like all those characters that they've introduced slowly. Um, as I'm looking at the list, I feel like I missed a few things. I think Justice League Doom should
Oh,
be on
yeah,
here, and I don't have it. And
but
yeah.
it's on the wiki here on the
yeah,
normal wiki.
I'm gonna again. I'm just like commenting on this list so you can add them
Right.
later, Daniel, and then delete my comments.
Again, Justice League Doom's an adaptation.
yeah,
Because in the original Justice League, it was Ra's al Ghul that basically did the whole thing that turned, used Batman's contingency plans against the Justice League. And here it's Vandal Savage.
Vandal Savage. Yep.
Yeah, the Justice League Doom also has that Dwayne McDuffie documentary on it that's totally worth buying. So
And
if you
yeah.
don't even like Doom, it's worth buying to get that documentary.
I like Doom. I liked Doom.
Yeah, I think I like Doom. I mean, listen, if you look at my list, you'll see that 9 out of the first 10 things have Batman on the cover.
That's shocking, really.
Yeah, I would not have expected that.
But it also goes to show that I feel like they have so many heroes and they are so like underrepresented here. Like most of the movie, like I want to say 80% of these movies are either Batman, Superman,
Yeah,
uh, which
and then
maybe
you
made
get the
sense.
ones that are clearly tie-ins
Yeah,
to the other media, like Suicide Squad, Green Lantern,
yeah,
Wonder Woman. But weirdly, the whole Justice League, Dark Constantine, spinning off of the TV shows.
right.
Um, I just, yeah, I will say the only one of these that I've watched that I enjoyed and I didn't realize was based on a comic is Crisis on Two Earths. I really like that one.
But now go read the comics so you enjoy it less.
I may have to. I may have to. But
I have a problematic voice that's in that Crisis.
is it
James
also RoboCop?
James Woods is Owlman.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
You know what sucks?
Problematic
But that movie is one of my top 5. I
It's
absolutely love it.
You
Yeah,
know what?
it's really good.
You know what sucks? That anytime I read Owlman, I hear James Woods' voice.
You know how to break that? Just go watch Hercules, and then you'll only ever hear him as Hades, and you'll just have to come up with a new voice. So
Yeah, but there is so much difference between him playing Hades and him playing Owlman because Owlman's such a robot voice, and Hades is like he brings that character to life.
he's He's apparently said he loves playing that character so much that he does it anywhere. He did it in
Yeah.
like the video games. He did it in, I think, like TV appearances. He did it in. He loves playing that character, so he'll just pop in. But I mean, again, James Woods, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's a problematic person. I just want to.
I need to get Kevin Conroy to do one of those cameo videos for me,
Yes.
reading Owlman dialogue,
Oh
Wow.
God.
so I can get that in my
There
head.
you go.
Yeah.
Such a good idea. That
Okay,
is
now
You have
I will
just
say this.
discovered a new use for cameo. I love that.
I'll say this. Coming back to Crisis in Two Worlds, the one thing I had okay, that movie had two voices that I was kind of like, by having oh God, what's his name? Oh God, he plays Gibbs on NCIS.
Only you watch NCIS. Quick,
Of
don't
course,
ask me about that.
no, it's what is this? Anyway, him playing Superman, which was kind of weird, and then having one of the Baldwin brothers playing Batman.
Oh,
Like, when I
William
heard his-
Baldwin. William
Yeah.
Baldwin's Batman.
that took me out, but he did not sound like a gruff kind of like Batman. It was just.
Oh, and Mark Harmon is Superman.
Thank you, Mark Harmon.
Oh, ew. Also a problematic person.
Gina Torres is Superwoman though. That's a pretty good
I don't
cast.
know. Only Mark Harmon, and I didn't hate Mark Harmon. It took me out having watched all the other, because I only knew either what's his name from Wings or the other actor they had in Justice League as the Superman.
Oh yeah.
You bring Harmon, in.
Daily?
Tim,
Tim Daly, and then the other guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but
Yeah.
I still feel like these. So I watched the first Batman 66 animated, which was so good and it was so subversive, which I really liked. You know, just the whole gay subtext was just wonderful in that movie. Oh god, there is a laugh out loud interaction between Bruce and Alfred that will just, like, I had to pause it and go back and I'm like, am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? And then I just died laughing for like 5 minutes. So yeah, it's good.
I think from the adaptations though, and this is something you guys will hear later when I give some Twitter shout outs. I saw a lot of Under the Red Hood, and I think that's very high on my list. And I know that I think the story they take all the parts from the comics from different stories, because even though there is an Under the Red Hood story, like it's not exactly like this. But then if you go back, if you guys have listened to our Judd Winnick episode, you'll know that Judd Winnick worked on this film, and that's somebody that's bringing that comics flavor into this. It may be my favorite. It's definitely in the top ones. Um, I think I see a lot of clips of like Jason Todd, which is voiced by Jensen Ackles from Supernatural.
Oh,
Um, which is why
Walker Texas Ranger.
no
Oh,
he's
no, yeah, you're
that's
right.
the
My
other
bad,
guy.
my bad. Yeah.
And I think that's why people want him to play Red Hood in live action. But I see a lot of clips of him, asking Bruce like, I didn't ask you to kill everyone. I just wanted you to kill the Joker because he took me away from you. Like he's the one person that you should have killed. So yeah, there's a lot. That movie's really good. I really enjoyed it.
I remember it for being the most violent.
yeah. I
It,
still
it
recall that
pretty
too.
much is with the beating, because the beating's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was trying to remember. I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah, I do remember that part of it.
They definitely leaned a lot more into the PG-13, and even some of these are rated R now, I think.
Yeah. Like, wasn't Dark Knight Returns R rated?
Oh, that was R rated
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We watched Justice League Dark Apocalypse War this week. Totally loved it. Loved everything about it. It just, well, you get Matt Ryan back as Constantine, so that I just love that guy is so good at it, and that they keep bringing him back to do it.
Yeah.
The art's great. It's a, I don't want to spoil anything of it. It's a different version of Batman. It is Heroes Defeated. And I just leave it at that because it was just that much fun to watch. It wasn't based on anything, so you can just jump in and watch and take it for what you know. And it's a little darker.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've seen it, Daniel? You got?
Yeah, after I saw it, I had to go check. Like, did Tom Taylor write this shit? What's going on?
Yeah, it's that level of
It
kind
feels
of.
like the Injustice comics and stuff like that. Like that
So the
level of
one,
stakes.
so the ones I've been most tempted to see, but I keep forcing myself not to, are the Elseworlds ones. I love Gotham by Gaslight, and I don't want to watch that movie because, again, I love Gotham by Gaslight. I love Red Sun. I don't want to watch that movie because I just so can anyone change my view of these? Are they worth watching?
I think Superman Red Sun is a very faithful adaptation up
Okay.
up until the end, but I feel what they added makes sense. No, no, no. I think
Okay.
it's a
All
good
right.
thing. I think they added a good thing.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say they added more Wonder Woman to the story,
Okay.
which I think turned out to be a good thing for the story they were telling, because in the comic, Wonder Woman, she doesn't go out like a chump, but she definitely goes out, right? Whereas in this the movie it's a little bit different. And
Okay.
then Gotham by Gaslight, they really tried the animation to make it feel like the comic, but it's so hard when you have to do a brightly lit palette for animation.
Yeah.
But the story is good. I think it's interesting, but it's definitely gonna fall short because the art in Gotham by Gaslight was so good.
Oh, I mean I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, the story in Gotham by Gaslight is not great. It's a
Right.
little rushed, but the art is just
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, it's kind of classic era Mignola, and I, when I saw they were adapting it, I'm like, oh God, why,
Yeah.
why? Like,
Um.
I would almost rather see it as a live action film than animated, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So,
I think the story's better in Gotham by
okay,
Gaslight. Like they took some of the things that maybe didn't fully work,
yeah,
uh, and added some good stuff. But yeah, the art is just you can't do Mignola animated.
mm-mm.
I that's
Well,
well I guess the Hellboy animated movies were actually very close.
there are some shorts of amazing Screw On Head that are pitch perfect Mignola art. I mean, I don't know how they did it, but if you can find them on YouTube, they were short
I've got a
films.
copy.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
I'll
may have to
upload
ask you
it and
for
let
it.
y'all watch it.
Nice. All right, they're amazing, and you'll see it and go, oh, that's what it should look like.
Yeah.
So, um,
More recent stuff like they really changed Batman Hush. I think for the worst.
Yeah, I heard that was the ending is really bad.
Uh, and then they just love adding weird sex stuff. Like the Judas Contract, there was a weird subplot with Terra and Slade, and I was like, this is not what the comic like. The comic never even hinted at something like this. Um,
I think that they've redone that story so many times
yeah.
that they go, well, what if we just did this?
so I've got a question for you guys. What story have they not done? Two questions. What story have they not done you want them to do, and you absolutely do not want them to do?
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Off the top of my head, and
I,
uh, this may be controversial, but I want a Heroes in Crisis animated movie.
What?
I know you guys listen. I
What?
understand.
That's a lot of therapy, man.
That's what I want to see. I want to see how they would animate those confessionals, um, because they work so well in the comic. And if you can get some like good voice acting behind that, I think they would really hit hard.
oh God,
Yeah.
it would be.
Um,
I would if they were. It would have to be a two-parter, if not a three-parter. Like
yeah,
if they could do not Heroes of Christ. I'm not going to do it. If and this would have to be a standalone. Just say, hey, this is the complete DC universe. You can go to Wikipedia, look who it is. But if they were to do a Crisis on Infinite Earth,
That was okay. That was going to be mine that they do
yeah,
for exactly the reason that you said, which is that story is so critical for things that if you can get more people to watch it and
yeah.
understand the kind of OG reboot of a universe, that would be helpful.
But it needs to be a standalone, like saying this is the DC universe. You're gonna
Yeah.
have all these superheroes. It's gonna be a three-part, but you can't just condense all that. Like they tried to do with. I get what they did, and it worked for what it was. But the CW's Crisis crossover
Yeah.
that was Yeah, it needs to be more immersive. But that's it. This isn't rebooting the universe. It's just a standalone film, sort of like New Frontier was. This is the DC universe going from the Golden Age to the Silver Age. Let us stay there, but at least make it a 3 or 4 parter. Which you
What
gotta
if
love.
they just did one, like, instead of a 2-parter, one long, like, 5-hour animated movie?
Yeah, they
right?
should make like a mini series.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Oh,
go.
that'd be good. That'd be very good. They haven't done that before, have they? Like an
No,
animated
No.
miniseries.
they have HBO Max. They can put all that stuff on HBO Max.
That's
and
true.
do a miniseries.
I mean, they got money just laying around because they just paid for another another Zack Snyder. It's what, 70 million?
something like that.
God.
Yeah,
They
but-
could just call it like Tales from the DC universe, and
Yeah,
every
but
season.
I hate to say it, but would they do a miniseries? Because now apparently Justice League miniseries is going to be a full length film instead of the 4-parter
Oh
or
yeah,
5-parter.
give me all that at once, B. We don't have time to go into, but we will closer to the movie. I'm sure we'll talk about
Well,
it.
so here's my absolute do not do, and it's based on your last comment, Daniel, about adding all the sex and shit to stuff. Identity Crisis.
Oh,
Oh,
Don't touch
Ooh,
that goddamn
wow.
story. Don't do it. Just read the book. Everyone go read
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah, that's true. That is a tough one.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not even. I don't even think it's that great of a book.
Oh, I love that story.
I love that book. You don't like Identity Crisis?
One,
Oh,
when they kill Ted Cord, and then 2, it's just I don't know. I didn't resonate with me.
wait,
Yeah.
no, I thought Ted Cord gets killed at the end of Infinite Crisis.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
Identity
you're
Crisis.
thinking of Infinite. It's the 80-page one shot of Infinite, leading up to Infinite Crisis, where Ted Cord gets killed.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Yeah, no, it's the death of Ralph's wife that causes Identity
Yeah.
Crisis.
Sue.
Yeah.
Sue's
yeah,
I
that
dead.
did-
one.
yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, that would be. I don't know. I think some of the motivation for the story in Identity Crisis, it's probably best left to the comic.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it there.
well, I feel like I mean, it's already such an adult book,
Yeah.
but it's not an adult book. It's an adult book because it deals with adult themes.
Yeah.
And what they tend to do in the animated films is make them adult by just adding gratuitous sex. And that's what would worry me about adapting this,
Yeah.
right?
I'm trying to think what else. I would actually kind of like to see the arc in Batman New 52 Batman where Jim Gordon becomes Batman in the mechanized suit. I think that'd be like a cool Elseworlds thing that they could do out of continuity because I mean it
Oh.
wouldn't fit here. But I love the Bat Bunny.
Oh.
So
Bad Bunny.
I just thought about something like, and this is going back to like DC Annuals in '94. But like, if you were to go back and maybe, because that was the summer they did the Elseworld Annuals, and if they were to maybe do like some like, they could do a 70-minute film based on these annuals. But if you were to go back and like, the first one they ever did was, what if Superman or had basically come down and been raised by the Waynes instead of the Kents.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yep.
Stuff like that. I think like you like they're not a whole long series. They're not like a whole big story. They're just what if could have happened. It was
Yeah.
basically their what ifs.
What
So
is
let's
for DC?
yeah.
Yeah,
So make animated films on those. You could expand on those and actually be okay with them.
They should have a DC Elseworld series too, like Marvel has the What If on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Because then you could also do I think when he becomes a Green Lantern, when Batman becomes a Green Lantern. I like these are all stories that take place in Gotham. Like all these Elseworlds we're talking about. Like there's no other Elseworlds that they've made.
Well, I did find it weird that they're making Red Sun, Gotham by Gaslight, and they're not calling them Elseworlds. It just seems like that's a no-brainer to me.
I don't know. I don't feel like DC and Warner Brothers has all their shit together when they roll stuff out. I mean, they can't even get a movie franchise going, and
I mean they're
how
being
the
run by
fuck are they going to sync their books up?
they're being run by the company that acquires Singular cell phones. So.
Yeah.
Again, I've said this before. Like, number 2 on the list of things I do with a time machine is go back to myself 30 years ago and go, you're not going to believe it. In the 2000s, Marvel has a great film series and DC can't get their shit together. Because that was not the case until
'Cause you-
basically Spider-Man or
I was going to
X-Men.
say, in the 90s, though, you did have Blade. So you would have, you're
Okay.
telling your younger self, they're going to build off a Blade? Blade's the center of the MCU. That would be
Oh
awesome.
my god, that's just be amazing.
Yeah. Now, I guess also wanted to touch on anything that's been original here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very good.
Yep.
Batman Ninja. I know
Gods
it
and
was weird,
Monsters.
but it's so good. Gods and
Yep.
Monsters. That like these things have no comic book background or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
I
think if there's
will contest Gotham Knights as being one of the worst.
I need to watch it again. I've seen it and I seem to remember, because it's in anthology, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like some of them I liked.
I
Some of
remember
them-
watching it going, I can't find one I liked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so maybe I need to revisit it, but
Yeah, I think that's gonna be my homework too, and we could talk.
Yeah, I think so. I seem to remember there's one in a sewer that I really liked.
Yeah, they brought in Killer Croc. That's fucking bananas. Like into the Nolan universe, Killer Croc is there somewhere, according to these movies, because it's supposed to be canon.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, I do have a couple of movies I would love to see that they haven't adapted yet.
Okay.
Grant Morrison's Justice League.
Yeah.
Did they not do that? I thought War was their Grant Morrison one.
No, that was their. I think Scott Snyder's Justice League when they rebooted.
Oh, that's the
And
New
it's
52
not
one,
good.
isn't it?
That War movie is.
Oh, it's awful. I've watched it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I like the Grant Morrison where the Key is the villain and Green Arrow. It's Connor is joined the Justice League and he's the one who's trying to save everyone.
Okay.
Also, Kingdom Come.
Oh wow.
That would be nice to see. And my favorite version of Wonder Woman is from the New Frontier. I would love to see a spin-off story of her because that's the Wonder Woman I want to see. She like lifts up all the women in villages and kill all the men, and she's celebrating with them when Superman shows up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's a pretty rough Wonder Woman. That's an R-rated violent Wonder Woman I want to see. I also loved her in the Flashpoint. Wonder Woman from Flashpoint is really good.
Yeah.
I hated Flashpoint, and
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, and I say this as someone that I read those comics and hated those comics. Like I just so I was like, well, I'll give the movie a try, and then I really didn't like the movie either. So
That's one I could put on and I just enjoy it from beginning to end. I love the different versions of the heroes and the villains, the Shazam kids, but it is so super violent at the end with what happens to the Atlanteans, the Shazam kids.
Yeah.
I mean, wild stuff.
Yeah.
The only other book that y'all or other show that y'all haven't mentioned that I really love is Public Enemies, the Batman Superman team up.
Yeah.
I love it, but I hate the fact they changed the fact that it was Batman that took the composite Superman robot instead of Captain Atom. Like, and that's another one where I think you could have easily kept it as the actual series, added 20 minutes, and it could have been. Because I liked in the book where basically it's Batman and Superman taking on Lex in Metropolis. Because that scene at the very end when Superman's already knocked Lex out of the suit. Batman's just kicking his ass. Lex takes the blade and almost stabs him right through the chest. And I don't know.
I wouldn't mind if they adapted that whole run of Superman Batman. I think it went like 78 issues.
Well, they sort of did. I mean, they also did the what was the other one?
Supergirl one.
Yeah, which I thought
Supergirl
that was
Apocalypse.
Right. So if they kept going, like a lot of those stories were really good, and we got such a that's one of the series that I have almost all of it, even though I had to find it later. But they had so many artists working on that, and then at the end they got it got dragged into like Blackest Night and Brightest Day and all that stuff.
But Public Enemy uses a lot of the stylings of Ed McGuinness in that art. I love that.
Yeah, everybody's really really muscular.
I got one. I can't remember who the artist, but I know you guys have at least Josh and Clay have. It was in the mid '90s. It was the same artist and maybe the writer too who did the 12-issue Justice League origin story. But it was basically called Brave and the Bold. It was basically a 6-part issue dealing with the friendship of Barry Allen and Hal Jordan.
I see it, but I can't see who
I
wrote
see it too. And
it. Mark Waid?
I don't know.
It seems like a Mark Waid.
I don't might have been Mark Waid writing it, but first issue dealt with them kind of coming together. Another one dealt with them and their friendships with Alan Scott and Jay Garrick. Another one had Wally becoming like a teen Green Lantern. Another one dealt with Hal Jordan having to deal with like the friction between Barry Allen and Oliver Queen. It was a fun little series.
You know, another series I like them to animate, and this would be really cool because it's more recent. That Naomi book by
Oh yeah.
Brian Bendis. I think that would look really cool animated. They could do some really cool stuff. Um,
I also would love to see them adapt Kevin Smith's and Brad Meltzer's run on Green Arrow.
That would be cool. That'd be very cool. So here's all right. So here I'm going through this list, and here is kind of my complaint about this.
Not enough Batman. I agree.
No. So there are some in this list. I just want to preface what I'm about to say with that. But which of these movies are fun? Right? Like just a fun time. Like New Frontier is.
Assault on Arkham is.
Yeah.
For me.
Is it? Okay. All right. I just so many of the animated movies just double down on the darkness and the violence and they're a slog sometimes, right? I mean, I felt that way. Like War felt like that to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I tend to veer towards things like the Batman 66 or like I'm just going through like the I don't see it on here, but the first Wonder Woman, right? That is a fun movie, like super fun. I watched it with my wife and daughter. Had a great time with that one. Most of the Bruce Timm stuff, Gods and Monsters, not really, but it's trying to do a specific thing, which I think is okay.
Yeah.
It just the Teen Titans stuff are fun, but it's often like I sit down and just like, all right, let's get ready for the darkness. You know, it feels like 90s comics all over again. You know, it's like they haven't really moved past that much.
I got to throw out one film that nobody's mentioned, even though we talked about Bruce Timm. Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me add that to the list.
I love that film.
I don't know why that's not on this list, but it should be.
Well, that was their animated universe. That was still I didn't want to say 2000.
Well, but the Batman Superman movies here, and that's kind of made up of 4 different episodes.
No, that was still part. No, but I'm looking at the wiki. And
The Joker movie is great. Like it's really good. But I think that's kind of the moment where you get this linchpin, right? Of because it gets really disturbing at the end.
Yeah.
When you find out how the Joker, or what happened when he returns.
Well, and didn't they have to change some of that?
There's actually a scene where but you know, Daniel, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. So you know that Tim's the one who kills him, but they actually edited the scene where you actually see him take the gun and actually shoot the Joker.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that. I shared that GIF because somebody told us that was one of their favorites yesterday, so I shared that on our Twitter. The GIF of Tim dressed up as Mini Joker. I think one of my favorites, and it's perfect end cap to the show, was Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo, which was originally aired on Cartoon Network as a feature film.
Yeah.
I remember being really excited for the premiere. So that one's. I mean, that whole series is amazing to me.
Yeah, which is kind of what put me off the new version of it, is because I love that old series.
I can only take Teen Titans Go in very little. Like, I don't mind watching them as like a standalone skit.
Right.
I won't sit there and binge like a whole bunch of them.
Oh, that's how we start the morning. We turn on cartoons, and it's Teen Titans Go and Apple and Onion. It's Cartoon Network.
I can do a good run of it because Teen Titans Go gets, and for a kids show, it can get dark in some of those episodes. And I'm like, with this?
Yeah. All right. So, what is everyone's favorite? And there's only one right answer.
Mask of the Phantasm.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Mask of the Phantasm.
I am gonna say Lego Batman. I know we didn't include Legos in this one, but that's my favorite Batman movie of all time, and it's animated.
That is a good choice. It's still not Mask of the Phantasm, so you're wrong.
I think about it every time I have lobster thermidor.
From the microwave?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I have to agree with a bunch of our Twitter friends. Batman Under the Red Hood.
That is a good one.
It's yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's so good. I always I'm very critical of this, like the fact that they chose to kill Jason, especially because I know that it was kind of rigged. But the fact that it gave us the Red Hood eventually, I guess it was for the best.
That movie falls into the same vein as Crisis on Two Earths for me, which is I watched it and I liked it and I didn't know it was based on a comic. So yeah, so but I still need to go read the comic, and I'll probably walk away from the comic going, "Oh, that was way better." So.
Yeah, it's a different level of. I mean, it's Grant Morrison being adapted into an animated format. It's
Yeah.
a little softer.
And
Yeah.
then they do change. Yeah, I love Frank Wiley's art, so the fact that they changed it a little bit for the animation, like I guess some of these, maybe some of this art wouldn't look, but Darwin Cook's art worked animated. Like this looks very Darwin Cook for New Frontier.
Right.
So I don't understand, and Ed McGuinness too with Public Enemy. So I don't understand why. I don't know when they make those choices of like this art style wouldn't play in the movies towards this art style will play.
Do y'all
Well,
feel like The Dark Knight Returns adapted Frank Miller's art somewhat?
Uh,
I haven't seen it.
I no, I think they definitely went for those big. I think the big splash pages they really got close to an homage to that. But I think Frank Miller, yeah, I guess that one is harder. His style is so gritty and like dirty, like just like it's not supposed to look pretty, but animation makes things look prettier than they really are.
But you could do it like a noir style and make
Yeah.
it darker and
It would have to be a really stylized film, which is something anime does really well. I think they do when adapting the gritty manga or something, like if anybody's watching Attack on Titan. No spoilers, please. I'm watching the sub version. Uh,
These huge things called Titans attack the small people.
Damn it. No, yeah.
That is the broadest spoiler I've ever heard.
I'm surprised we haven't talked a lot of Green Lantern. There's a lot of Green Lantern in here.
At the
Yeah.
bottom. At the bottom of the trash.
Oh,
Wow.
They keep making
wow.
movies. They keep making movies
Let
about
me.
Hal. Who wants to watch those? We want
Well, you
Kyle
got
movies.
Nathan Fillion playing Hal is pretty fucking cool.
Nathan
Emerald
Fillion's
Knights.
he's my vigilante. I don't
Uh,
want to see him as a Green Lantern.
Emerald Knights has 4 stories, and Kilowog is one of them, and that's great.
That's cool.
I mean, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Shit.
The
But
Throne for Atlantis is trash.
Wait, hold on.
yeah.
Would you guys, and again, you know where I'm going to go with this, but would you want to see them animate any, I guess, story arc from Starman?
Oh yeah.
That hit my head very briefly. I could see them stylizing.
Opal, the city.
Well, that right, but okay. You get Bruce Timm to do it.
Yeah.
Or at least the people behind the animated series. Like all
Right.
the people working on the art. You need to
Yeah.
do it with the same effect that they
I don't
started.
know because no. Because I'm thinking about the art of what was the one you guys were talking about? The
Gotham Knights.
By
no,
Gaslight.
Anime style.
no,
Gaslight. By
Gas,
Gaslight.
yeah, Gas. Because that had such like an like an antique but old style with which Opal they tried like James Robinson and Tim Robbins. Was it not Tim Robbins? It's
Tony
Harris tried to give the look, and I'm thinking, what if you got something like that to kind of maybe it's contemporary, but you have that art style to kind of give for
Yeah. I'd have to go back and rewatch Gaslight. I haven't watched it in a while, but I know it fit the tone of the art.
yeah.
It just
Well,
wasn't.
but it's. I mean, Opal in that book is Art Deco, and that's kind of the look that Bruce Timm went with for the Batman
The original
animated
animated
series. So so
It's weird because it's Gotham and Metropolis, and Opal is somewhat in between those two.
Right.
It has that style of Gotham, but it isn't as dark. And if you watch some of the Bruce Timm Superman,
Yeah.
I mean, you see that lit up Metropolis.
Look, I'll just say, because I can see it in my head. Imagine Bruce Timm's Shade. It's there. It's done. I got it. Like,
Oh God, no! I don't want the shade they use in the animated series. I want his shade. I want him to do the shade that we get from the comic book because that shade was a.
no. I'm saying the shade from the comics designed by Bruce Timm.
Oh, okay, but I'm saying, but he actually did have the shade in Justice League.
Oh
And
no,
that was the issue.
screw that. No,
We'll
I'm
get
saying like
we'll get
Pat Kane. So
we'll get Tim Burton to do the adaptation of Starman.
oh God, no. I mean, no, no.
Why is he being
Only,
so goofy?
only, only the circus episodes.
Okay, okay,
Those are
Bring
great.
Tim Burton in to do those, and that's it.
that's
So
fair.
Wow, that would be cool.
All right, so yeah, we're throwing away the Killing Joke. You know
ah,
what? Let's throw Hush away too. Just go read the comic. It's so much better.
Yeah,
Like it's so much. Like it's not even fair. I know a
I
lot of people work really hard on these movies, but Brian Azzarello had no. There was no need for him to write that Batgirl stuff.
yeah, I
Uh,
have 4 movies I listed as just trash that I won't watch, and
all
because
right,
I
which are
The Killing Joke,
yeah,
I watched it once. It was unbearable. War is just boring.
yep, agree with you
Uh,
there.
Even the comics
Batman
better, and the
Gotham
comics not
Knights.
that good on War.
What?
I said even the comics better, and the comics not that good on War.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Uh, Batman Gotham Knights, the anime. I just didn't like the style. It didn't give me anything better than I would
yeah,
have gotten from regular
I
Batman.
think a rewatch may change our mind on that one.
I think so too. Partly. Oh, and do the fourth one. I'm sorry.
Judas Contract.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
I
garbage.
so did not. I wanted to like that better, but I didn't like the fact it was a New 52. I wanted the original, like.
The Teen Titans animated show did it way better, like over
Yeah, yeah.
the
They
whole
did.
series.
They did.
I will tell you one on this list that I asked the question earlier. What is fun? Batman Ninja. That is just a fun ass movie, and
Really?
it's a
Yeah.
visual delight. It is amazing.
You never seen it, Clay?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
you gotta watch
you
it.
have
It's
to. Yeah.
great.
If anything
Yeah,
comes out of this episode, is that you watch that.
yeah, yeah. Totally agree.
Not
Okay,
just you, but
making a
like the
note.
listeners too.
Then I'm gonna suggest also y'all chase down the DC Showcase specials.
Yes.
Those are not they are part of the DVD releases of these animated movies.
Right.
So you can see Green Arrow, they do a Jonah Hex, and the Spectre.
They did a compilation of all the shorts.
Oh,
Well,
they do?
yeah,
Yeah.
didn't they add those to the Superman Shazam Black Adam one?
Yeah,
I
no,
feel like,
they had the Jonah Hex, Spectre, and the Green Arrow, and basically made a combo with the Shazam Superman movie. So you can all buy
yeah,
all
yeah,
the shorts on one on
yeah.
disc.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they also may now be on HBO Max because they were on the DC Universe service before.
Didn't they do a Plastic Man showcase one too?
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, they did. I think so.
Yeah.
The
And I
old
feel like
Plastic Man and
it's
Plastic
kind of
Baby.
like the Kyle Baker Plastic Man, right?
Oh, very cool, stylized.
Yeah. I think so. I've seen it. I know I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah, they had all their shorts when I had the DCU subscription. They had all their shorts on there,
That
and
may have been.
there's a Doom Patrol that's pretty great.
Oh, I need to see that one. I haven't seen that
Yeah,
one.
it's like 3 episodes. They're just really short. They have an Animal Man, and
Ooh.
yeah, the Animal Man is just funny.
Is it the like the Grant Morrison era Animal
Yeah,
Man, or is it?
yeah,
It is. All right.
yeah,
That's
but
cool.
it's just silly.
Awesome.
I'll say
Uh,
the Batman Harley Quinn. That one's not very good. It's not really about Harley, and she just wants to hook up with everyone.
I was
And
I was
the
trying to find
show,
it.
yeah, the
Good.
show's so much better.
I was trying to find it, but I have the box set for the original Plastic Man cartoon from Ruby Spears.
I had
wow.
that too. I had that too. It's on my Plex actually. So if you want to watch some great baby
Oh,
Praz,
yeah.
go check it out.
Yeah, I've been putting a bunch of stuff on my Plex server so that I don't have to go pull the
Yes,
DVDs. I
I
might go ahead and invest in a full license if y'all want to watch stuff.
I did. I paid for the lifetime just because I knew I would use it. So yeah.
There's
Uh,
definitely a lot of this stuff on the HBO Max. I don't think the showcases are there though.
I didn't see
Dang.
I,
him.
I will point out, as much as we're focused on the movies, the 2 greatest series have been the Harley Quinn show for the latest one. That has just been every show's been a hit. I can't really think of a bad episode that they've done of that, and I really didn't expect it to be that good.
Hmm.
And it is way better than it's better than the Birds of Prey movie.
Really, any adaptation of Harley, that's probably the best one I've ever seen because it is the most fun. Do you guys have any like third tier characters you'd love to see in a movie you don't think they'd ever do? Because I have two characters I would love to see them adapt, or two books. Steel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just maybe have a world where where Superman is just a comic book character and they have no superheroes, and Steel builds his own suit and he's the Superman of that world.
Yeah, they kind of do that with Shaq, didn't they?
Okay, bring him back and bring him back and have him voice the character, because no one would believe you would do that.
Right.
And then I'd love to see Justice League International, like the old Justice
Oh,
League
God.
International comic,
Yeah.
adapted into a show.
No,
That-
not international, but it was international was more when it was still Batman. I want just Justice League Europe.
Okay, yeah, that's a better one.
Yeah.
I want if we're gonna do an animated shows, since we'll never get the live action Blue Beetle uh Booster Gold show that we always wanted,
Yeah.
then just give us an animated show of them, kind of like Harley Quinn, where it's like not too serious, but there's still cool stuff
Yeah,
happening.
but not
Who are your
highly.
two? Give me your two voices.
Oh,
Oh man,
Jesus.
I want to say Alan Tudyk just because he's amazing on everything, but I don't
You're
know.
right on that.
But
Who's
he had to be Booster
Nathan
Gold, right?
Fillion.
Yeah,
yes?
No.
yeah, okay,
You
yeah,
better Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk again.
okay,
There
yeah.
you go.
Sure. Oh, you know what?
Okay,
Even maybe some of the guys from DuckTales. I think
Oh,
Danny
yeah.
Pudi?
I think Danny Pudi and then
What's his
the
name?
guy who
From
voiced
Parks and Rec.
yeah
Uh,
John Raphael
yeah, yes,
Oh,
yes,
that would be awesome.
yes.
and Bobby
I've
Moynihan
got
can be a
one.
supporting character.
I've got one. You guys all know what the answer will be, but it hinges on something specific.
Ambush Bug.
It is Ambush Bug, but you only can do it after they do the Crisis animated movie, because it is so meta that basically you need to do an Ambush Bug animated movie that riffs off of Crisis. Because in the original series, he sets it up that Darkseid is the bad guy, and then in the very last issue, he just walks by and he like unplugs the air hole, and then it just deflates. And it just turns out it was just all a marketing ploy. He's like, oh yeah, we don't really have Darkseid, sorry, like that's the end of the book. So yeah.
I want it to be like they did something called Deadpool's Secret War, where it was the Secret War event, but like from Deadpool's point of view. So they
Right.
just kind of inserted him every like that, like Ambush Bugs Crisis on Infinite Earths, where he's just inserted in key moments.
That would, oh god, that would be awesome. And I mean, and quite honestly, if they took the team that's doing Harley Quinn, I think they've got the right
Yeah.
kind of tone and the right attitude. I would love a faithful Ambush Bug. I mean, that original, is it 6 issues? I think it is 6 issues. Is just riotous. I mean, even down to the first issue hinges on he comes across a doll, like a baby doll, and he names it Cheeks the Wonder Toy, and it's his sidekick. And like Cheeks shows up like through every miniseries. Like even in the most recent one, he's about to leave the house and he looks over, he's like, all right, Cheeks, hold down the 4, and then he like leaves and Cheeks is just laying on the bed. Like it never moves, it never does anything. It's just great. So
All right. Well, I mean, do you guys have any final thoughts? I think we've been going on long enough about.
Yeah,
We
I think
could
I'm good.
definitely. This could have been a 10-part thing, and we still never get to it. But
Go-
we'll. Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say just go check out Daniel's list on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I'll share it once it's like. I'll make sure to add everything that's missing because there's like Clay mentioned there's a Wonder Woman movie missing.
Yep.
Um, Justice League Doom is not on here, and it should be.
Yeah.
So
That Wonder Woman Bloodlines has a DC showcase of Death,
oh, okay.
and
I
I've never
haven't
seen
watched.
an animated Death.
Really? I
Yeah,
haven't either.
I haven't
Huh.
watched that. But I should. I think it's about her brother, and I hate stories with Wonder Woman and her brother because her brother's a dumb character. Um, anyways, yeah, I'll share my letterbox link once the list is full and polished. If you guys make a list, we can share that through our Twitter. So just stay tuned to add next issue pod. But with that, I did send out a I put out a call yesterday for people to tell me like their favorite animated movies, and I promised I would read them on here, so I don't want to forget. At Messiah87, he said, I love them all, honestly, but I would say Under the Red Hood and Flashpoint Paradox are my top two. At Final Neil, if I had to pick one, it's Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
Yep,
There we
yep.
go. Yeah.
At Legoland 13, Under the Red Hood, Jason Todd is awesome. I completely agree. At Big Mo 104, the Flashpoint Paradox, so that's two for the Paradox. And at Caramel Payne, Batman Superman Public Enemies, which we also, I think it's pretty high for all of us as well. But if you have any more, just tweet at us. Uh, I I'll try to keep prompting things to you can get your name on the podcast and stuff. But thanks to everybody that answered and sent in some comments. Um, all right, well let's take a break here. We'll go to recommendations, wrap up the show. All right. All right. Well, welcome back for recommendations. We'll close out the show after this, but first we want to give you guys some stuff to watch and read, and Josh, you want to kick us off because I saw this and I'm very intrigued about this recommendation.
what, what the hell is this? Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Elizabeth Sandifer's writings. She has written for years now a blog called Tardis Eruditorum. And it is basically, as a kind of academic critic, her looking at every Doctor Who episode from the original. And what she's done is, and it's on my mind because I kickstarted a year or two ago. She compiles them into books. And the most recent one is the Seventh Doctor, which is fascinating because it's the end of the classic TV series, but then it spilled over into almost like a decade of novels put out by Virgin Books that was the continuation of that Doctor. And I just finished reading it last night. There's such great books, and she does a thing where she will incorporate chapters about other pop culture phenomena happening at the time to kind of link it all together to a time and a place. And again, it's just top of mind. I love when things I'm doing overlap because there's, for instance, a chapter on Babylon 5 in it, right? Because that came out towards the end of the novel run in the early, well, actually up through the mid 90s. Anyway, they're great books. Go check them out. I think you can I think everything's still on her blog, so you can read it there. But support her. All of her books are available as ebooks on Smashword, I think. But if you go to her site, you can find it. I'll find the link and you can check it out. They're great books, really good.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Although, I mean, it's a book. I don't know how many pictures it has, but we'll see.
Yeah.
None. You will hate it. But she also does have, just for comic fans, real quick, she has two other side projects. One is a book about Wonder Woman. That's kind of like a cultural critical history. That's fantastic. And then she has a book that I love because it's just so weird. It is basically a critical history of Grant Morrison and Alan Moore, but she uses the fact they're both interested in magic as a linking point. So if you're interested in Alan Moore and Grant Morrison's work and also just how wackadoo they both are, go read that one. That's called The Last War in Albion. And I'll find links to all these things. So
Cool. All right, Kyle, what do you have for us?
Honestly, I got nothing this week. Like I said, I mean, I would just say if you haven't ever watched it, and HBOmax has Head of the Class on it. It's a fun watch, and if you're a kid of the '80s or '90s, it's a good fun just to take you back in time a little bit.
What was really weird about that show was that was one of the few shows that celebrated intelligence.
Exactly.
Oh, nerds.
One of us.
One of us.
great. We did get a trailer for Punky Brewster. I don't know if you saw
Yes.
that.
I don't want to pay for it, but God, I want to see the show. It looks awesome.
I think Peacock. We got some news that the WWE network is gonna get thrown in there.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
So
That's right.
it may be really worth bang for your buck to get Peacock, even without the ads, because the WWE network's already $10. So if you're actually gonna be just saving $5 from Peacock.
And
Anyways,
see, I have a Peacock recommendation.
well, let's
You do. It's a good one.
tell
AP
her.
Bio. It
Yes.
was short-lived on the network. They pulled it and we're going to cancel it. They moved it to Peacock. It's on its third season and it is pretty great. It's oh my God, Glenn from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I can't think of his last name.
Oh, Glenn.
He
Oh,
plays Dennis. He plays
Yeah,
Dennis.
it plays
on
Dennis.
it.
So
Yeah.
Dennis,
Howerton.
and he's kind of a similar character.
Yeah.
He's a very vindictive man. But going through the 3 seasons, it's really Paul Appel, Patton, Glenn, and the kids are home runs. There's one particular kid, Heather, who is the funniest kid on that show.
She's the one with glasses,
And
right?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, the butcher's daughter. She is amazing.
Yes!
She's so great.
so if you haven't seen AP Bio, check it out on Peacock. Worth the subscription for it.
Awesome. All right. Well, my recommendation. This is a book we read last weekend for the Boomerang Comics in Louisville for the book club that we have. Um, it's Wonder Woman Dead Earth by Daniel Warren Johnson with colors by Mike Spicer. I I can't believe I took so long to read this. I should have read this a long time ago as it came out, but I'm glad I read it all in one sitting. The book is great. The art is beautiful. The hardback is really cool. Like I ended up buying the hardback. It's not available in DC Infinite yet because it is pretty recent, but it probably will be. So I'll put out a thing on our Twitter when that's out because I do want more people to read this, and I want Daniel Warren Johnson to do more stuff with DC. He is going to be doing a Beta Ray Bill miniseries
Nice.
soon, which I'm definitely ready for another Beta Ray Bill book. Um, yeah, so that was really good, and I really enjoyed that. Another thing, I didn't put it on the notes, but if you have HBO Max, don't forget that The Little Things with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto and Mr. Robot, Rami Malek is out right now. It's a suspense thriller, so if you enjoy that kind of movie, go ahead and watch it. Yeah, Clay, you've seen it? Oh, that's weird. I can't hear you, Clay. Are you muted somehow?
Oh, sorry.
He was
It's a
holding the
slow
call.
burn crime that
Yeah.
Denzel's so good at. Rami Malek is different than any other role I've seen him in.
It feels almost like three different movies into
Yes.
one, right? But then like when they all converge, like holy shit. Yeah, I really enjoyed it and I'm already paying for HBO Max, so I'm gonna watch all the movies they put out. Uh the Judas and the Black Messiah is coming out next I think next weekend. So I'm definitely gonna watch that
That
as
looks
well.
heavy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all the recommendations I have. Um Thanks to everybody that sent in their Twitter recommendations for our list. We appreciate that. I think in the future we want to do a question and answers. Like if you have comic book questions, we're not experts, but I mean I think between the four of us, we've read a lot of comics that
Oh yes.
we can help. So I'll put out a call for Twitter questions and we'll start answering them. And we have other stuff just like coming up in the works. Some old Spider-Man TV show related. And then we'll definitely be doing stuff closer to Godzilla versus Kong, and then also Snyder's Justice League, and I'm sure if we ever get to watch Black Widow,
Yeah.
we'll talk
Right.
about it. And definitely when One Division's over, we'll make Josh catch up,
Yep.
uh, and then we'll go talking about it because there's a lot going on in that show.
Yeah, I am surprised you've avoided spoilers at this point.
Yeah, I've done a great job. Actually, I don't know how I've done it, but are they 30-minute episodes or hour-long episodes?
They're getting longer. They start off like 35, and the
They
most
started
recent
off like
37.
23 because
Yeah.
theirs was like 7 minutes of credits.
Well, they
Yeah.
were TV. They were done in the TV format at the time,
Yeah.
so you had your.
Oh, got it. Oh, that's fascinating. Okay.
The most recent one's like 43 minutes, I think.
I just asked because I'm gonna have to like my wife wants to watch it, so I feel like we may just have to sit down and binge it.
We only got 3 more left. If I'm not
How
mistaken.
many are there?
Four.
11?
It's 9. 9
Oh,
total.
Oh, 9. Oh, it was 8. Okay.
Yeah, so we're as of recording, we just had episode 5, so we should have 4 more.
4 more. Okay.
And then that will lead us into Falcon and Winter Soldier on the weekend of the 18th, whenever. Same weekend as Justice League. Whenever that is.
Actually,
In March, so.
yeah, March. Okay. And then Loki comes out in May, I think.
Yeah, after. These are just gonna go like one after the other, and then we'll get What If, so. But, like I said, hopefully we get to watch Black Widow at some point. I don't foresee going to the theater yet. Although, good news, I did get both my parents are now vaccinated. My mom's got
Ooh,
my mom's got
Fantastic.
2 doses.
awesome.
My dad's got his first dose, and he should get the other one in a couple weeks. I've signed up everywhere I could, like that I qualify for. So,
We got our first dose.
awesome.
Nice. Damn, congrats. We've been avoiding signing up because I feel like I don't want to take someone
Well,
else's spot. But
They ask you enough questions that they'll
Okay.
know where to put you.
okay,
Yeah, so
Alright.
I don't think like you definitely sign up everywhere you can because they're very good at like asking you enough things to see what group you qualify with. So don't feel like you'll be taking anyone's spot.
okay, good.
Yeah,
And then-
because we were at UT Southwestern, and we were both patients there, and so on the app, it had an option to sign up, and so we clicked on it, asked a bunch of questions, then it let you schedule it.
Yep.
We were able to schedule together, and there was no line. I mean, we went to the hospital. They're very good about spacing. They have people everywhere forcing you to be apart. Like, only 2 people can ride in an elevator together.
Wow.
And then we walked through the line because there was no line.
Can we keep that rule post-COVID?
Only 2 people in an elevator at a time. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so we get our second dose in 2 weeks.
go check online. There's a
Nice.
lot of resources for that. Go check with your doctor and stuff like that. You never know. You may have some condition that qualifies you to get a vaccine earlier that you don't even know. But yeah, so hopefully that means that sometime this year, at the end of the year, we'll be back to theaters because I'm excited for that. All right. Well, thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to talk about this. And until next time, keep reading comics.
Thanks for joining us. You can find Next Issue on Twitter at Next Issue Pod, on Twitch at Next Issue, and on Facebook at Next Issue Podcast. You can find Clay on Twitter at Clay_Harrison, Kyle at Kylepedia, Adrian at Adrian_Harry, Daniel at Echo Spider, and Josh at Cosmosis. Hail Bebo.